I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. A federal grant that will bring 15 new firefighters to Flagler County also came with a pleasant surprise for local officials. John Arking explains.
The $3.26 million Staffing for Adequate Fire and Emergency Response, or SAFER grant, came from the Federal Emergency Management Agency. And according to interim Flagler County Fire Chief Joe King, the original plan, if approved, was for the county to pay 25% of the cost for the first 2 years and then 35% in the final year. But speaking on WNZF's Live Shop Play with Flagler County Commissioner Joe Mullins, he said that turned out not to be the case.
When we got the grant award, we were looking through the paperwork, and I was sitting in Jerry Cameron's office, and there's no match. So we started reading the award. The grant is covered in full, 100% each year. The match for the county is waived. So
wow. It's
$1.1 million a year for 15 firefighters, and no match responsible for the county. So year 2, year 3 was taken away. Year 1 was immediately taken away when we put it in because of COVID, but now they've waived it for all 3 years.
They've waived all 3 years.
King's entire interview can be heard on Live Shop Play at 9:30 Saturday morning on WNZF. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arking.
The Flagler County Sheriff's Office now has a digital forensics unit. Brittany Kershaw, Public Affairs Manager for the Sheriff's Office, says they've been doing this work for years, but never in-house.
We've always utilized other sheriff's offices, mainly Seminole County and St. Johns County, and so we've had to transport evidence to them and then have to wait for them to return it in order to continue our investigation. So having an in-house digital forensics unit now cuts down on the amount of travel time and also saves time and resources from having to utilize other sheriff's offices. So we're able to provide quicker turnaround time on examining evidence, and we reduce costs by not transporting manpower and evidence from county to county.
FCSO used grant money from the Florida Coalition Against Domestic Violence for training and to purchase technology for the unit, and Sheriff Rick Staley says they're seeing immediate results, since he says in almost all cases suspected criminals leave a digital footprint after they commit a crime.
We hope eventually to be able to expand it and have full-time detectives in this unit. Currently, the people who are assigned to it are doing it in addition to their main assignment.
The Flagler County Sheriff's Office can take a bow for exceeding some basic law enforcement requirements. Karen Johnson reports.
The Florida Police Chiefs Association has released a new statewide study of law enforcement practices concerning use of force, accountability to citizens, and public trust. It's an in-depth study of nationally validated best practices and principles which they recommend to all local law enforcement agencies in Florida. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley says his department is in great shape.
The Flagler County Sheriff's Office had already implemented and meets or exceeds all of these 8 best practices and 8 principles contained in the Florida Police Chiefs Association report.
Staley says the hiring, training, accreditation, policies, leadership, culture, and strong community relationships explain why his department already meets all policies and principles now being recommended by the Florida Police Chiefs Association to all law enforcement in our state.
We are a leader and model for American law enforcement when it comes to transparency, use of force, accountability, and maintaining public trust.
For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
We know that Flagler County picked Jorge Salinas as interim administrator, Jerry Cameron's chief of staff. Why him and not someone else?
Jerry Cameron said Salinas has the future of Flagler County in his sight.
He is really involved in digital transparency, which means he can engage our citizens in what we do on a daily basis.
Cameron said that Salinas brings the ability to improve overall systems, to improve effectiveness and speed to all residents. To listen to the conversation with Jorge Salinas, Jerry Cameron, and Heidi Petito, download the Flagler Radio app and then go to the Free for All Friday podcast. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.